All right, so I'm starting this a touch early. I did see that some of you guys left some comments on the post to ask me some questions. Any of the guys that do come to this video and want to ask anything, ask in the comment section below over here to the side. I'm going to be getting to the questions in the post that I made yesterday here in a second. Hey, Diego, how's it going, man? Yeah, first and foremost, I am still filling up a spot for my New Year's Eve boot camp. If you guys are interested in joining, it begins at the beginning of January. It's going to be January 1st boot camp. If anybody's interested, text me 702-841-9909. Just had to get that out of the way for anybody that is interested. Okay, just froze up there for 5 seconds. I hope it doesn't continue to do that. So we're going to cross our fingers on that. All right, here. Let's start getting the questions. And anybody that does want to ask a question, don't be afraid to ask in the chat below. I'll be answering them for the next 30 minutes, and I'll be going into the questions that you guys already provided me. So here, let's go into it. So, okay, dude asked me this. What are some mindsets to stop making excuses not to approach and letting the girl walk by? Appreciate the passion you have with the game and helping others. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. It's a long-term thing. Okay, so you have to understand where the mindset of not approaching comes from. So most of you guys haven't been doing this in your entire lives. Nobody that you personally know is probably approaching girls. It's for a very rare few of people. A lot of you guys that are afraid to go out and talk to women initially. I mean, you haven't been doing any of this for a long time. You guys you've probably been spending like 20 plus years not approaching women. Now you have to do this. Your ego doesn't want you taking action that doesn't align with you. It doesn't want you taking an action that doesn't. So the way that you finesse your ego is you take small steps over time. If you can't go and approach a girl, give a passing compliment. Sure, man. You guys want to be taking small actions over a small period of time. You want to take small actions over a period of time. So let's say you're afraid to go approach a girl. Can you at least give her a passing compliment? Can you say, hey, love your shoes? Just had to say that. Have a good day. Take off. Hey, love that outfit on you. Looks amazing. Take off. Hey, you have amazing energy. Yeah, no worries. Have a good day. Take off. Now, this alleviates you of a lot of the pressure. A lot of times, whenever you guys are afraid of approaching, what happens? You guys are stacking a lot of other mindsets on top of approaching. It's not just that you have to approach her. It's that, hey, what's up, Brent? How's it going, man? You guys are stacking layer on layer on approaching. You're like, I have to approach her, not just approach her. I have to get her to like me. I have to have a conversation, know what to say, have to get her number, get her to like me, get her to bed, or whatever the fuck you're thinking. And so then you guys get an ego invested. You guys get an ego involved. So the way that you overcome this is you isolate the approach by itself. Now, over time of you approaching and you being extroverted, it gets easier and easier to talk to girls. Another thing that you guys could do, honestly, I could write an entire book on this subject alone. So I'll go through maybe like 3 different things you guys can do to overcome approaching and making excuses. Over the course of you approaching, your ego will start aligning with the actions itself, and then it becomes a lot easier to approach. For me, I focus on being an extroverted individual. I focus on being somebody who's extroverted. So what does that mean? That it means to me, game is not something that you do, game is something that you are. So I focus on being extroverted every day. I focus on talking to people. If I'm in an Uber, I try a little more extroverted than I feel. If I'm out and about, I give people eye contact, give people nods, I smile at people, give people good energy. Maybe I'm getting a coffee, I give the barista a compliment. Maybe I'm getting groceries, give her a compliment. I'm constantly trying to be extroverted. It's not something that you just pull out the ether. It's not like I only am extroverted 2 days out of the week. No, you're extroverted every day because this is not something that you do, something that you are. The same thing with somebody that wants to work out. Somebody has this vision of lifting weights and then you never have to work out ever again. Once you get your 6-pack, I never have to touch a weight ever again in my life. This, again, is not something that you do. It's something that you are. This is not something you're going to do until you find your wife, until you get there. It's something that you should be doing for the rest of your life, being extroverted. Not even necessarily even approaching girls, just being extroverted, just being out there, just being strong, being powerful. Not just sticking to yourself. You want to learn how to be out there. And I know a lot of you guys, that's scary. And you guys might even find resistance to hearing that, but you guys want to get out there and get used to it. Approaching women is fun. It's playful. This isn't supposed to be work. Nerdy Romeo is pretty fucking cool. Actually, I know the guy myself. He's pretty dope, man. I don't have any problems with him. He actually lives here in Vegas. He's friends with one of my friends. He's friends with AG. He gets a really good results. He gets, impressive or not, man, he gets really good results. He pulls a lot. So I mean, what can you say, bro? though I don't know about his coaching necessarily. He's only been doing this like as of recently. I don't think he'd be like, I think for a beginner he'd be a killer coach, but I don't think he knows what he's doing. He's very natural to shit. He's honestly, I'm very impressed with his approach ethic, incredible approach ethic. But yeah, so it's just don't look at it individually. Don't look at it as one thing. Look for the deep identity level change. Stop trying to force it. Break it down in small pieces into bite-sized pieces so that you could overcome it as a whole. All right, let's go into the next question. What's the thing that helped you out the most when approaching to get really good? Number one or two thing. I don't think I would get as good as you, the same amount of effort. Well, so he's saying he doesn't think he's get as good as me with the same amount of effort. I actually would disagree. I actually put unbelievable effort into this, and I should be a lot better for how much effort I put into this because I was very stupid. So that actually gives me the answer to this question. Thinking critically and writing field reports. Obviously getting yourself out there consistently, but I mean, if you're not writing field reports, you're not thinking critically, you're not asking yourself, how can I improve? And you're doing the same thing every day. Don't be surprised that you're not getting results. If you're getting the same results every day, you're not improving, it's because you're not thinking critically. If that's your issue, that's the number one thing. Number two thing that helped me out in game was understanding that the thing that girls find attractive is value. And it's not value of things, it's value of energy, it's value of demeanor, of posture, of self-belief. You have to believe in yourself before she believes in you. And just coming from that belief by itself, if you guys are wondering, how do I get attraction? Become valuable. Become valuable in your energy. Like, give off the energy of somebody that is a badass. If you're somebody that is high status, it doesn't matter if it's legitimate or real. It matters that you believe it's legitimate and real. That's what matters. So those are the two things I'd say that helped me out the most. But yeah, like this was not easy for me to get here. I know, like, it's so hard to like fathom, like, I don't know, like seeing somebody that you see on YouTube and whatnot, and you don't see what he's done to get to a certain point. The last thing I did was have this easy, or not put in that much effort, because I put in such unbelievable effort. Like, just times where I was just getting frustrated and not understanding why, after such unsurmountable effort I put into it, why I wasn't good enough yet, and just being frustrated and desperate to figure it out. So that was not easy for me to figure this out, for sure. No, I'm not made to do this. So this guy's asked me to give him a breakdown of skill sets and strengths and weaknesses of different coaches. Some of them are actually my friends, so I won't go too much into it. And some of them I don't know that much about. I like Vadim. I know him personally. He's fucking sick. Vadim actually is a boss. So I've been in certain situations with him. I've never seen him out gaming. I've seen his infield. His infield's very good. He's very he's playful, very playful, and also still masculine, which is a really good combination. Playful and masculine is the perfect combination for game. He has great game. And he's also very dominant and masculine. Like, I've known him personally. He's a leader. Respect the fuck out of him. RC Julian was kind of a phenom. He got good at games so fucking fast. Now, if you want to hear about a story about somebody got good at game really quick, not saying that he didn't put in effort, because he put in a fuck ton of effort too, but he's just very smart. RC Julian is just very smart. I don't know what it is in him that made him so good so fast. But yeah, he was just like, he was a puppeteer. So he'd like almost, the way he write his field reports is he'd do like sometimes, like, from what I understand from what some of the other coaches told me, he would do like these almost like, so I say this, she says this, I say this, and I say this. The girls usually respond to these three ways to this. Girls usually respond to these three ways to this. How can I respond to these three ways? And then how can I respond to those ways and those ways? Like, I do like flow charts, which I thought was pretty crazy. So that's it. A lot of his game actually partially probably developed because of the way he wrote his field reports as well. Like, how he's just always is on point and knowing what to say. That's, again, why field reports are so important. You can actually target certain things in your game by using the field reports in an intelligent way. If you guys are writing field reports and you guys are staying on it and actually thinking critically, using the note-taking process, the critical thinking aspect of this, let's say you have a problem. Let's say it's like, I'm not approaching enough. So for the guy that I answered the questions for first, if you're not approaching enough, let's say, so you've mentioned to me making excuses, write down the excuses. What I did was, when I had approaching problems, I wrote down the excuses that stopped me from approaching. And then I write down 3 reasons why that excuse is stupid, because it's always stupid. There's really never a reason not to approach. So yeah, So especially when you're new, yeah, I can see if you're like a veteran in the game, like deciding not to approach because a certain situation or hesitating because you see a certain thing, but it's because of approach anxiety. Then write down like the excuses that stop you from approaching girls, and then write down the reasons why it's dumb and stupid, and then reframe them. What is a way that you can draw yourself to the action? So like that's an example of writing using a field report in a smart way. I don't really know that well. Him and me have been up and down years. Um, Seems like a cool guy. I don't have anything either way to say about him. Austin Summers, cool guy, great game. I have nothing negative to say about him. I feel like an asshole to the person who asked me to ask this because I know you're expecting some deep breakdowns of this, and I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't really have too much in the way of that. I don't really have too much an opinion on these guys anymore. Other than especially if I know them, then I do. But Austin Summers, I met a couple of times, but we're not close like that. Can you talk about setting up solid dates with girls when you don't drink alcohol? Yeah. Again, it comes back to being authentically a cool guy, which again, so there's two types of advice here. I'll come back to the video so I can see you guys. There's two types of advice that you can give to somebody whenever you're a coach. So there's the short-term advice and there's a long-term advice. So the long-term advice in this is become an authentically cool guy, which I feel like it's going to be on repeat with this, which I talk about in all my videos on how to do this. But the way to set up, now I'm going to tell you the quick way, the way that the short-term advice that I give a client, like the tactics side of it. You want to actually ask the girl out on the height of the conversation. So you want to leave the girl, if the logistics aren't good and you can't take her on a date there or close it then, get Instagram. And at the same time, try to set up the date in person on the high note of the conversation. So it goes something like this. Actually, so if you, here, and I'll add a caveat to this. If you know what she does for work, you can infer what days she's off. So she's a bartender. She's probably off on weekdays and probably on weekends. If she works a normal job, she's probably off on the weekends. So ask her out on a day, like the days that she's off based on her profession. So if she's a nurse, no, not a nurse. Maybe she worked at let's say Cracker Barrel. Let's say like Cracker Barrel. I think Cracker Barrel is off on Sundays because it's a churchy kind of a job. Ask her on Sunday. Say, hey, would you be free? Maybe even Saturday night. Be like, are you free Saturday night? So here's the way I would do it. So actually, are you free Saturday night? Now, if she says yes, set up a date there and then. If she's not, say, no, don't even worry about it. Here, I'll hit you up later about that. Here, what's your Instagram? Add her, text her up later. Now, you want to do this too. I'm surprised we have some commenters in here today. I'm actually surprised by that shit. Actually, here, let's start jumping in some questions from here. Any tips for approaching a girl who is with many guys or that is with a lot of girls and guys? Yeah. If it's a bunch of guys, approach and say, you guys make a cute couple. Watch the girl. If the girl flinches or gives a reaction, be like, oh, you guys aren't together? I'll do my bad. What's your name? And then start introducing yourself and start the conversation rolling. Make sense? Basically build it up. Game's overrated. Looks is king. Okay, sure, man. Yeah, and Nerdy Romeo, dude. So MCKCM. Nerdy Romeo is actually kind of cool, man. He's nice. We're not friends or anything like that. He's more friends with AG. He's a little mad at me right now, but he pulls a fuck ton. So even though his infields aren't impressive, he pulls a lot. We've seen him like sometimes he'll pull out like 2 or 3 times in a night. He pulls a lot. Like he does get really good results. If his infield's impressive or not, it's still like he still gets results. So what does it matter? Like to be fair, like if you guys saw me in the club, it would just look like me being social and outgoing. Like good game doesn't look like game. That's the thing that you guys, a lot of people don't understand. Other than Julian, Julian's the only one where it's like game, like actually look like game. He's like the one of the few where like you see him game, he's like, what the fuck is that shit? No, most guys are really good at game that I know who are fucking killers at this shit. Like I just look like a guy who's being social. Honestly, you guys will see me talking to some girls, something like that, just assume they're my friends. What you do if someone absolutely tests your manhood and tries to fight you in front of the girls? I call them thug life. Either I'll ignore them and I'll act as if it depends on the situation, very, very much. Usually I tell them, calm down, thug life, it's not that big a deal. Something like that. Or I'll grab security. Just walk to security, be like, hey bro, come here. And just have him follow you and be like, hey, this guy's trying to fight me. Can you deal with this? Or I have to fight him. I don't know what you're doing. I really don't want to have to fight him, but I will if I have to. Then the security will deal with it. IDK, just the fact that Todd V and Romeo can have the same profession and both get results is mind-boggling me. Well, here's the thing. Romeo approaches a lot and is very aggressive. He's looking for yes girls. Todd V is very finesse. So it's a different type of maybe a different type of angle they're both taking. Todd V is a very finesse kind of coach. Romeo is very much just like get it done, approach, not into me, cool, on to the next. But he's also getting a lot of mass because we're in Vegas, man. We can approach like hundreds of girls a night if we wanted to. Like we could just go balls to the wall. How do you overcome being paranoid about your eye contact, vocal tonality, body language, etc.? I feel like girls don't like me unless I present myself a certain way. Isolate each one individually. So you can't practice all these things at once. You want to focus on one at a time. Focus on the one that is going to improve your game the most in the shortest period of time. So if it's eye contact, focus on that. If you have a high-pitched voice, start working on that. If your body language is too fidgety or you're too, usually body language is a more, with the body language stuff, I would say it's more relaxing and chilling, but you do want to focus on very minute, I would even like, I may not overall body language, focus on small pieces of body language. So for example, I was focusing on walking slower, taking longer strides. I was focusing on having more relaxed body language. I was focusing on maybe relaxing my face. So my face comes across more in a way of like a guy who's at ease in his body. I was maybe focusing on, it sounds stupid, but even like being more slack jawed, because it's more like a way that a guy who's good with girls acts. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'm gonna be doing this for a second. So you guys can ask all the questions you guys want, and I'll go down the line and just start answering them. You want to isolate it one piece at a time. And I'll say this, the more you do it, what you'll actually notice is as you add each piece, you notice how people will actually receive you well. If you try to practice all pieces of body language at the same time, what happens is you come across inauthentic, and you're also putting a lot of bandwidth on your brain, which is a computer. And when you're supposed to be present with a girl and having a dynamic, engaging conversation, instead you're focusing on, I got to do all these body language and facial and eye contact shit. No, focus on one piece. You can't practice any one thing all that well, but you can hammer one thing into the fucking earth and still have an engaging conversation. I always isolate one thing every night. I'll isolate one thing every night. I don't overdo it. And you'll find that like as you do it, like maybe eye contact, as you hold more eye contact, your identity, your ego will shift, and the action feeds the ego. You start identifying somebody who holds eye contact. You'll actually enjoy it. You'll enjoy holding eye contact. You like the tension. And because your ego now starts swinging, you'll start noticing how people react to you differently, and you'll start buying in. Then you add the next thing, and you notice how people react to you now that you move more slow, or that you relax your face, or that you have more open body language. You'll notice that people start reacting to you differently. Maybe that you add pauses. Maybe that you drag your vowels. Maybe that you deepen your voice. You guys, it's pretty cool. So if you do have a problem with that, focus on one piece at a time. All right, so let's see. How would you approach a girl with her mom or friends in the mall or grocery store if you're by yourself? Be direct, but also engage the mom, and do not accuse her of being your mom. That's a big mistake I see a lot of new guys make. Be like, oh, was this your friend? What's her name? Hey, it's good to meet you. Oh, you're the mom. Oh shit, my bad. Sorry. It's always a really easy win. Mothers are actually really easy. They're even better. They're even easier than friends. I will say that. Like if you're approaching in a very suave and cool way, the mom will actually like you. If it's a dad, dads are like more on the fence. The moms are easy. You just be direct with it. The more you do it, the more at ease you are. A lot of it has to do with like your own internal. Like if you assume it's okay, the mom will assume it's okay. If you're acting as if somebody that is at ease in the conversation and that this is okay, the mom will be okay and at ease. It's a lot easier than you think. I've had a lot of moms even try to push me onto their daughter to try to like, close the deal and whatnot. I've had moms like try to get me to go home with their daughter in the past. If you do it the right way, just don't act like she's not an entity. Bring her into the conversation on occasion. Sorry, I just noticed a lot of people were commenting, so I was trying to find out where I was. How do you run your boot camps differently from RSD self-mastery? I'm a lot more hands-on. RSD guys, they hire a lot of interns and coaches, and the coaches mainly coach the clients. I'll sometimes bring on friends, but I really don't have interns. It's usually me by myself. Yeah, I will bring up my friends who are also really good at game, but it's usually me. I'm very much about tailoring the boot camps to the clients themselves. I don't like this one size fits all, which RC doesn't do that, by the way. RC actually does the same thing with this. They're very good at identifying issues in clients, which is a key defining trait of a good coach. They do the same thing. Like they don't just teach like a one size fits all with coaching. They tailor the coaching to you if you get the chance to actually work with one of the RC guys one on one. They do kind of, I love them to death, but they do have this problem with bringing on way too many guys on the boot camps and then hiring or like bringing on like 10 interns to coach the guys instead of them themselves, which I think is like, I don't know. I don't do that. I feel kind of bad. That I would never do that to you guys. That just feels kind of off to me. If it wasn't me coaching the boot camp, I would tell you it was somebody else. You know, like I guess that's the biggest thing. It's like I'm the guy's coaching, not some other guy that you don't fucking know. Again, love them to death. They're fucking killer coaches. I don't mean to speak negatively of them. They're fucking great, dude. They're great coaches to me. What do you think about NoFap? I like it, but I feel like it makes me too thirsty. I have a very weird view on NoFap. All right, so if you're somebody that maybe is having an issue with coming too fast, yeah, NoFap might not be good for you because like, you get a girl home, then you come too fast because you haven't been masturbating. If you're somebody that, okay, so I read this book called Sperm Wars, and I'm pretty sure that there's consensus on this, but well, I think cleaning out and masturbating is actually good for you. I think it prevents testicular cancer because a lot of sperm is very, it's very fragile, and the more that you're just holding back on your sperm, I think it's unhealthy for your balls, to put it, bluntly. The one thing I will say though with the NoFap is that I do think that porn does actually affect a man's sex life, because if you're used to, a girl getting bugakied or something like that, or some wild scenario, yeah, then the second you're in bed with a girl, you're like, oh no, it's not like this, and so I can see that becoming an issue for sure. Are you ever planning to be a passport bro? I don't know. I wouldn't mind going out to another country on occasion. I don't know. See, here's my only problem with passport bros, like, which is the only problem. I think I'm okay with people doing it. It's just I don't like people using it as an excuse to not work on themselves. So like the gentleman up above who was commenting that, pickup doesn't work and that you have to be handsome. It's usually the kind of guys who are like not actually. So people are afraid to take action, so they're making excuses for why they don't do something that's hard. A lot of you guys are out there approaching women. Most guys don't. And I think most guys are going to fucking lose. I mean, unfortunately, like not everybody can win. And if everybody's gal gaming, it'd be kind of tough. But it's like you go to another country to go pick up a girl, you bring her back here. You were like somewhat a big fish in a pond, but you come back out into the ocean, you're dealing with sharks, like me or my boys, which I would never do this, but your girl now, who's like the starstruck, fucking entity, comes to America where everybody's, American, everybody's like you, then it's like, and they're also way fucking cooler and you look like a bitch in comparison to these other guys. She's not going to get wet for you anymore. She's not going to be interested. So I wouldn't think it's not a long-term strategy, but if you just want quick sex, yeah, I see that being a thing, but unless you're planning on moving to another country, but yeah, I just don't think it's a viable strategy long-term. I think it's a good short-term strategy, which is what a lot of guys like because they don't like putting in the work, but I don't think it's a good long-term strategy. Hey, Denton, I went out to a country bar and noticed that I can have a charismatic conversation and my brain is telling me I am low value. Is winning at life enough to solve this? Kind of, yes and no. So I know a lot of guys who become very successful and they still don't think highly of themselves. You have to give yourself permission. You have to give yourself permission to be a valuable guy. You have to believe in yourself before she believes in you. So what does that mean? That means that you got to take the wins and stop being so humble, which sounds like so counterintuitive to most life coaching, self-development advice. But women do like a little bit of arrogance. They like it that that you're dope on a deep level, on a confident, deep level, not in like a try hard kind of way, but just like a subtle, confident kind of way. Like you just know you're sick. Like you're a badass. Like you know your value. And when you talk to a girl, you're not putting her on a pedestal. Instead, you understand that you on some level are like you're more honestly like higher value, which sounds kind of trash, but to say, especially with the whole feminist movement, but That's really honestly what that's what girls respond to. I don't know what else to say. That's what girls respond to. I wouldn't do it if they weren't responding to it. They like it. A lot of girls also they like the dark triad traits. Honestly, they like the wild stallion traits. If you're out approaching a lot, man, you land a lot of that stuff that you're talking about. The feeling of low value, that will go away if you're consistently approaching over time. The winning and the losing, the ebb and the flow of both will make you start feeling more high value. So if you're doing nothing but winning, it'll take one event to crush your ego and make it crumble. Now, if you're doing nothing but losing, now you have nothing to base your confidence on, because you're just getting pounded in the fucking earth. Now, if you're getting a little bit of both, you're winning. You're getting pounded. You're getting winded. You win. You get sex. You lose. You get laughed at by some girls, and you develop a backbone. So the girls are maybe teasing you one day, and now you develop a backbone. You're like, it happens enough times over where it's just it's like it's where it used to be this huge thing where you think about this for a week. Now it's quiet. It's quiet. It's just not a big fucking deal. You understand that they don't know you. And it honestly, it's ebb and flow. It's going to build up that confidence you're talking about. But yeah, winning outside of this, fuck yeah. Develop skills too. Write a list of maybe 10 skills that you would love to learn, and ask yourself, out of these 10 skills that I'd love to learn, which one of these would make me feel the highest value? Which one of these would make me feel like a man? Then chase that. Start going after that skill set outside of game. I used to be a guy that would say like strictly game, only do game, but that was very short-sighted and very egotistical of me to say. You have to have wins outside a game to like feel confident too. I've done it before where I brainwashed myself in thinking that I was like a god or something, but it's not easy. And even then, it wasn't a deep understanding, it wasn't a deep belief, because I was just, it was like just something I kind of was getting rewarded for with women. And then, but on the outside in my life, I was falling apart. So it's so much easier to win. If you're not one of those guys who's just too stupid to understand he's not smart or awesome, and you're actually intelligent, you have to actually win, or your brain's not going to get on the same page as you. I noticed many other coaches don't read the girls nearly as well as you. Like the Kanye West girlfriend video, you're the only coach that reads her as attention seeking. Yeah. Well, it's because I honed it. So I've approached a lot, but two, I mentioned this earlier about field reports. I actually targeted the ability to read girls and read people into my field reports. It's actually, I think, a part of every one of my field reports for years, was where I would ask myself, okay, cool. I was in a conversation with her and all of a sudden she wasn't into me anymore. What was that? And so I make a very big point of not just looking at girls in the eyes to be attractive, but also to read them in the future so that I could get the data points. So when you look at somebody in the face and you're looking at them in the eye and give them eye contact, you can read them better. You can read them a lot better. And you can start picking up, like, so your brain is almost, it's a pattern recognition machine. It's made to see patterns. Sometimes it does too well a job at this. You see the fucking face in the moon, and like it like spurts out looking for a pattern where there isn't one. But your brain will pull together the notes if you're looking people in the face and you're thinking about it critically. And when you're writing field reports and you're like, okay, cool, she liked me until this point, then it shifted. What happened? Why did it shift? And then you come to enough points where like maybe you had like maybe 5 times where that exact scenario happened. And you think about it, like, well, what's the key defining trait of all these scenarios? I'm like, oh wait, I said this, or I did that. Or it ended up that 2 of these girls had boyfriends, and oh my God, wait, she had a boyfriend. Then I tried to move it forward, and then she didn't like that. That's when she fucking, So you get really good at this over time, just going out, just paying attention and being there in the moment. And I also think way too much. I've always been a person who overthinks. Even as a kid, I'd overthink conversation with people and be like, do they like me or not? Because I'm hyper anxious. Okay, so let's see. I think, Denton, you should read the book Your Brain on Porn. Well, here, let me explain. I tried NoFap for about like maybe 5 days, and it was just too much for me. My sex drive was too high at the time. Maybe it's low enough now to where I could do NoFap. But yeah, Your Brain on Porn. I've heard the book and I get kind of the cliff notes. Yeah, I think that porn is not great for a good sex life. I think it's actually bad. But it's not bad enough for me to like even worry about. I still watch porn. Like it hasn't been so detrimental to my life to where it's needed my attention. There's other parts of my life that I'd rather invest energy into. But yeah, I don't think porn's good for us. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's beneficial for any of us. I think masturbation is beneficial, actually. I do think masturbation is beneficial personally, but I'm not the expert in that field. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. This is not I'm a dating coach, pickup artist. I'm not like this. I'm not. I know what I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. I don't know that 100%. There's probably somebody out there that knows this better than I do for fucking sure. Like for fucking sure. Um, isn't a wild stallion trait feminine energy? No. Well, let me read your comment first, and I'll answer it. So, is wild stallion trait a feminine energy since it comes across with indecisive, not being grounded, and not has no purpose? No, it's I think you're viewing the wild stallion thing as something different. So wild stallion is just like you're not afraid of the consequences of what other people think. Like you do what you want to do, despite the fact maybe you're in a crowd and you start being like noisy or joking or fucking around with somebody or teasing. That's fine. You can be masculine. You could be the feminine trait is almost the feminine masculine trait is almost devoid of this. You could be masculine and give off that wild stallion trait. It's not the you do have a purpose. Your purpose is to have fun. It's like my purpose is to have fun, and you're chasing that purpose 100%, and you're not holding yourself back. You're not holding yourself back. It's like I'm unshackled from the confines of society. Like you know when you're sitting in public and you feel like you have to sit there like and you're worried about the judgment of others. That's the person who's a wild stallion does not worry about the judgment of others. He's gonna do what the fuck he wants to do because he doesn't give two fucks. He's like, I do what I want to do. And that's what's sexy about being a wild stallion is I do what I want to do. I want to have fun. I want to fuck around. I want to tease. I want to be this. I want to be that. It's wild. It's like that's what's sexy about it. It's actually hilariously masculine. A guy's feminine has a harder time doing this unless it's like a gay guy. Like I mean that makes sense, but a feminine type of guy wouldn't be able to be a wild stallion type of guy. I mean unless he's drunk and you know whatnot, just that's a different kind of wild stallion. That's not what I'm talking about. How much time until you see results in game? I see, I thought about so long on how to explain this to you guys, but I came to a pretty good answer to this in maybe like over the past 6 months that I've been telling clients lately. And I think it's a really good explanation. You'll honestly feel like you're great at game if you're doing this correctly within a year. You'll think that you're awesome at this within a year or two. But then what happens is a year from then, you look back a year ago and you'll be like, oh my God, I actually sucked a game a year ago. I'm actually amazing now. And then you go a year from there and you look back, you're like, oh shit, I sucked the game then. And now I'm amazing game now. Like I look about myself in terms of coaching, in terms of game. And I say to myself, man, I sucked then. I'm so much better now. And I'll say the same thing in a year from now. Being good at game is subjective. There's no such thing as being good at game. It's all subjective. Like don't compare yourself to me, compare yourself to you. If you compare yourself to others too, it will slow your progress. Instead of like focus on improving yourself from day to day. It's not about being good at game. It's about being better than you were yesterday. It's about being better than you were 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. Like if you compare yourself to others, like I used to do, it shackled me from reaching higher levels and being better than I am right now at this. If I didn't compare myself to others, I think I'd be a lot better off than if I did. So don't compare yourself to me or somebody else. Compare yourself to you. I struggle with coming up with good date ideas as someone who doesn't drink alcohol. Thoughts on this? I mean, you can go to a bar and just not drink alcohol. I mean, you could do that. I'll play pool. I'll take girls to go smoke hookah. I think the biggest thing is not even like, you do want to go somewhere where the girl can drink if she wants to, and then let her know you don't care. In case the girl needs it to kind of loosen up and feel a little more relaxed on the date. But yeah, you don't need to drink alcohol to like, if you go to a bar, it's again, you're the man, you decide what's cool, what's not, what's normal, what's not. Like you're the one that dictates what's cool and what's not in an environment. You can go to a bar or club and not drink it. It's not weird. It's just like, you're the man, you decide what's cool and what's not cool. It's like the way that I paint my fucking nails, and every so often somebody who doesn't ever see my channel mentions it. It's like, I decide it's cool. So when people meet me in person, so people will say it in the comment section, but nobody in person will ever mention my fashion because I'm very confident, decisive. I'm very masculine. I'm very fun. I'm very free flowing. I'm very extroverted. So it's like I dictate that it's okay because I believe it's okay. It becomes okay. Again, you become the exception to the rule. So if you're the exception to the rule, you can go to a bar and not drink it. It's not weird. And girls like, oh, why'd you take me to the bar then? And like, I thought you'd enjoy it. I love the energy of these places. I love being social, blah, 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 blah. Whatever the reason you give is, it's like, I decide it's cool. It's not that's weird to not drink at a bar. It's not weird. Like, it's like you dictate what's cool and what's not. And that's what a girl wants. It's masculine to be like that, to dictate the rules of society and life. Like I dictate that it's cool to go talk to people and approach girls. And now because I'm so strong in this belief, a lot of you guys now believe it's cool too now. You guys are now approaching because I believe in it so much. In the same way, in your own lives, you guys have to believe in things so much that now other people are trying to be more like you. Yeah. Is it too late to begin at 30s? No. I mean, no matter what, man, you're always going to improve. I mean, it's again, it's like no matter where you're at in life, no matter your age, you're still going to improve through game. I mean, like, it's no such thing as too late to begin at game, because if you do game, you're going to improve. It's like, it's too late to hit the gym at like 40. No, no. Like, is it too late to hit the gym at 70? No, fuck no. It's like, it's the same thing. It's like, it's still going to improve your dating life. It's still going to improve your life overall. So why not do it? You're still going to improve. And no, and I know what you're getting at. Yeah, you can still get good in your 30s. I think the more problem is like when you start hitting, like, if you're somebody who hasn't been improving your life, if you're somebody who's been stagnating your entire life, the hard thing is if you're a guy who hits maybe his 40s or 50s and you've been stagnating and been stuck, the willpower you need to get overcome it is strong, because you have a very ossified ego. So overcoming that ossified ego where you've been this person your entire life takes a lot more willpower and a lot more drive. So it's not even, doesn't even come down to like it comes more down to the mental, honestly. It comes more down to that than anything else. I struggle with coming up with good date ideas. Oh yeah, we already answered that. I've been doing a lot of Julian's inner work and seeing some good results. Hell yeah. What you thought on getting your inner self clean out before getting hard into game? No, do both. So you're saying, should I do only work on my inner game and then work on my outer game? Or like then start hitting game? No, you should do both, because the game is going to help out it was honestly, so I'm not gonna say her name, but because I know it's going to be a video down the line. And I don't want to get you in trouble or make you feel weird. So game is going to help out your inner game. And what you're kind of doing right now is honestly self-lying a touch. You're like, I'm going to hold off on doing game until I'm mentally healthy enough. No, don't get into game, because the game is going to actually, I think game is one of the biggest, it's one of the best self-development tools I've ever found. There's a lot out there, but you'll get hit time and time again by girls if you're somebody who's leechy, if you're somebody who's bitchy or feminine, or you're somebody who is not in his own lane or doesn't have an internal looks control. You'll be punished time and time again, and you'll learn through trial and error not to be that way. You'll actually be punished when you're fucking up mentally. Girls can almost feel the energy off of you. If you're somebody who's very confident, somebody who's very at ease, like you'll be rewarded for it, and then you learn how to do that. If you're somebody who's overthinking all the time, and you go out, actually, to be fair, I meditate a lot I almost started getting to meditation, not through like sitting down in a chair. I'd be out in the club, I'd be freaking out in my head, and I'd be like, I tell myself light switch, which light switch was a moment when I tell myself, okay, turn off your brain, just look at your eyes. So basically what I was doing was meditating. I had to do that because I found that when I overthink, girls wouldn't like me. So I had to light switch, turn brain off, and I just be present. I just be looking at my eyes, focused on looking at the world around me and being in the moment. So what about ecstasy? I don't know. It's a drug. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Here, explain further in comments. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I tend to please others because I'm afraid of being alone. Do you know how I can be less people pleaser? I hope this makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense, dude. Dude, I'm a natural people pleaser too. If you guys get on coaching calls with me, you guys will see how I'll bend over backwards for a lot of you guys. I learned to have boundaries now with people, especially because it's actually good for me to have boundaries. I'm not, there's this term, this idea in psychology. So with therapists, so I don't do this. I go over all my coaching calls. Oftentimes, like a lot of guys who get calls with me, I go over my call like time all the fucking time. I don't mind. I enjoy getting you guys results. So I set like half hour between calls where I'm not doing calls, because it gives me a little bit more like bumper room in case I do go over on a call. But therapists, though, the way the therapist does it is at the time that the therapy session is over, you cut it off. Because what will happen is, so a narcissist will see that they got you. So maybe like the time is done at 6 o'clock. Now, if the narcissist can get you over to 6:05 to 6:10, he thinks that you're easy to manipulate, and thus you're stupid. So if you're like, with a narcissist, I'm a lot more punctual at the time, because I don't want to think I'm stupid and not taking my advice to heart. So with a narcissist, I will cut the line really hard. But with like a codependent or like a people pleaser like me, I don't mind doing it. But with the people pleasing stuff, they'll actually come as you start feeling valuable. You're a people pleaser not because there's a couple of reasons why you're a people pleaser. One, you're probably empathetic and you feel people's emotions. Which, if that's the case, you have to understand that other people's emotions are not your problem. You're not the orbiter of other people's emotions in time. If your intent is always good, it doesn't matter what other people think or feel. It's like it's their job to feel a certain way. If they get mad at this or that and you had good intent, that's kind of on them. It's on them. If they don't like you, that's again on them. It's like you got to take the pressure off. You can't always control everything. And you have to take the time to also practice a lot of self-love. Start winning, man. If you start winning and start feeling more valuable, you start kicking ass in life, developing skill sets, getting yourself out there, approaching women, start teaching yourself how to be extroverted and charismatic. You'll start feeling more valuable, and you won't feel the need to people please. You're probably afraid of people leaving you or people not liking you. When you're abundant in friends and people, like I have more friends I can count. I don't mind like drawing boundaries with people because I'm like, dude, if you're not going to if you're not going to like treat me like somebody that cares about me, I don't want you around. Like I want people that are empathetic and caring towards me. So I set the tone with them. Like you should rather be alone than be around somebody that's going to disrespect you. Like if and the people pleasing stuff, dude, if you want to read a book, read Radical Honesty, read Radical Honesty and go through the exercise in that book. That's a killer fucking book, man. If you're a people pleaser, read that. And I think another book, which I've not read this one, but I've heard a lot of good things about this. What's it called? No More Mr. Nice Guy. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I've never read it. But that'll probably help you out as well. I noticed last night that I had a fear of rejection and fear of being alone, running despite me doing 8 approaches. How do I truly let go of these? These go. Fear of being alone. Being alone, running despite me. Fear of being alone. I mean, I think that's something you just course correct. I think that's just something like, I mean, notice that that's not a good program to be running your brain. Focus to the water where it's stone. Noticing a bad mindset or bad belief system will eventually erode it and get rid of it. We both know, you know that that's a bad mindset. I know it's a bad mindset. So every time it comes up, just understand it's stupid to think that way and find a new reframe. So instead of you being alone, think of you getting your time to just kind of like just experiment. Like I don't like, I look at sometimes this game, like when I'm by myself, it's like a video game. It's like Grand Theft Auto. Like, and I look at people like they're like NPCs, they're not real people, and I get to see what I can do. Like I'm a little scientist over here, like in GTA 5, maybe you decide to, I don't know, attach a bomb to somebody's back and then scare them, see them run into like the cop station or something like that. You know, you're just experimenting, you're having fun, you're fucking around. Don't focus on being a lone part. Like instead, put your brain somewhere else. Does your style of game, personality, social skills, and clothing play a large factor in types of women you will attract? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. It's a lot more like the psychology side. I mean, yeah, I attract a lot of bad girls, honestly. Not all bad girls. What's actually funny is now that I've been getting older and becoming more, a lot more masculine, a lot more leadership. I've been getting a lot deeper, I guess you could say, like a lot more, like a new level of authenticity. Like I just don't really give a fuck. And I've been finding the girls that I've been getting now have been a lot higher quality. But for a long time there, yeah, I was attracting a lot of bad girls. So yeah, it definitely does affect it to a good extent. The clothing, especially clothing, like I mean, a certain type of girl, if you're out of it and you're not in the pocket, and you're trying to warm up, you're looking for the yes girls, or you're looking for the girls that just like you for who you are until you get up, off the ramp. And I'll say this too, I mean, there's also late in game. Like I mean, like obviously me at my worst is better than most of you guys at your best. That's just always going to be the case. It's like if I was playing basketball against Michael Jordan, and I mean, even if Michael Jordan's having a bad day, Michael Jordan's still gonna fucking dunk on me and put his nuts in my face and like fucking like, fucking score 20-0 like any day of the week within like 5 minutes. But yeah, yeah, man, that does affect it. Dress like the kind of guy. So ask yourself, what kind of girl do I want, and dress like the kind of guy those girls go for. So like, look at the girls that you're really into. Like I like rock and roll, emo, goth girl kind of look, like bad girl looks. And so for me, like I dress like the kind of guy those girls go for. And that's what happens. So dress like the kind of guy that girls go for, and it'll help you out to some extent. I call it archetypes. It's not really like a looks maxing. Like it's like I'm aligning with her ego, I guess you say. Like it makes it easy. It facilitates the conversation a little more because I align with her ego. I look like somebody that is cool, charismatic. I look like somebody that she has been into in the past or has given her a good experience. Like she's had prior experience with a guy that looks like me or dresses like me. Not even like the looks, besides the looks side. It's like I'm giving off the, like, my branding is the branding of a guy that she's been with before who's been dope. So yeah. How do I get rid of pull anxiety? Sometimes I get distracted by subconsciously wanting to chill out after night game sessions. That's just rationalization. Baby step it. Just I have so much fun gaming. Like I don't want to leave sometimes. So instead, what I'll do is I'll be like, hey, let's go party over here, and I'll take the girl with me. I'll keep partying, and I'll be like, let's go fuck it up over here. Let's go fuck it up over here. And now it's just like I drag her along through the party. I'm on to the next thing. I think it's more just it might be as simple as you just reframing that mindset. I mean, like it sounds like you already know you're not supposed to do that. So just don't do it. just don't just make the if you do this one time, honestly, and you decide not to chill instead of pulling, you're gonna feel a lot better. Like you're gonna feel tenfold better that you did it, and then it's gonna be a part of your ego in the future, and it's gonna be easier to pull in the future. I assume I've worked with a lot of guys that had that before, and the first time they ever did it, the first time they ever pulled when they had pull anxiety, they never had pull anxiety ever again. Getting into the zone feels harder than when I first go out in game. It used to be just one approach and I feel euphoria. Now I don't feel like that even after 20 approaches. You might honestly have, dude. Are you more depressed than you were then? Do you feel like you are? Is your life around you not as good as it was back then? Do you feel like maybe like you have more negative programs running in your head? And even then, like if you're trying to chase state, is not something you chase and you get. It's something that you fall backwards into. You act as if you're in state, and then by acting as if you're in state while also ignoring the presence of state ever existing, you get into state. State's like falling backwards. It's not like state is falling backwards. It's not this chasing this thing and then you get it. It's like you fall backwards into state. If you're focusing, I got to get in state, you don't get in state because now it's like it's holding a wet bar of soap. Do you squeeze the wet bar of soap or do you just let it hold? You just holding your hand. You just holding your hand. You're not trying to force it. You just let it happen. It's like a trust fall. First of all, thanks for doing this, dude. You're honestly a legend. Oh, thank you, bro. Can you talk a little more about Instagram and how important you feel that is for our dating lives? I just think that I hammer it home a lot with you guys because it depends on like the quality of the women you guys are trying to date. If you guys are trying to date like top tier, super sexy women, like the model type girls, like those girls are on Instagram and the guys they date are on Instagram. And it's just like you can post up pictures of yourself. So when the girl like wakes in the morning, she doesn't remember what you look like because she talked to like maybe 10 guys that night. And then she looks at your face like, oh yeah, that guy. Oh dude, he looks so cool. He looks awesome. He looks like somebody that I want to go on a date with. And then you're posting up all these cool stories all the time. People are commenting in your comment section saying how much they love you or how much this or that. It's a lot easier to re-engage them in the future. It's like, I mean, that versus phone number where she just has a number, not a face, not anything else, not any, like she talked to 10 guys that night. She only has a phone number. She can't remember who you even are. Like how many of you guys have ever had like a phone number where the girl's like, can you send me a picture of you? So because she can't remember who you are because she talked to like 10, 15 other guys that night. So it's just like, it just doesn't make sense not to do phone numbers anymore. I mean, it's like, just take the time to develop a good Instagram, like however long that takes. And then like, it's just going to work on its own. It's just like, it's so easy. I mean, like it makes things so much easier and the retention is so much better on this shit. Julian's got in terms of teaching. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, Julian's fire. Yeah, narcissists are dangerous, dude. Narcissists are dangerous. They can be. I know some narcissists are actually great guys. It just depends if they're self-aware and they started working on it. Like if the narcissist is working on it, I'm cool with it. But narcissists can be difficult. Like it also depends on the type of narcissism. There's 4 different types of narcissism. There's malignant, there's grandiose, there is covert, and there is what's the 4th one? I always forget the 4th one. Fuck, I'm not, this isn't a psychology YouTube channel. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, there's 4 types of narcissists, and narcissism can like, and it's even more intricate than that. It's not even just 4 types of narcissists. That's like, it's not, you can't just sum a person up into one trait. Narcissists can be great people and they can be awesome. They could be good people and they could be very intelligent and powerful. And they could also be god awful, terrible people. Oh my God. And they could be the wrong person for you. You got to really definitely draw boundaries to narcissists. Make like, understand, like, don't let them run all over you. Or else they will. They don't mind like steamrolling you. Love some of the nuances that you teach in your YouTube videos. Thank you, man. Particularly the 2-part flow chart. Oh yeah, thank you, man. Please just have a hard time saying no, not easy fixes. Yeah. Just say no. Yeah. So for the person asking about people pleasing, that's a good point. Yeah, just say no. Just get in the habit of saying no. If you're a people pleaser, just get in the habit of saying no. Excellent book. Yeah, those books are fire. I feel like oh, by the way, I'm going to get out here in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to keep answering questions until 8 p.m. PST. Then I'm going to get out of here. I got some friends over here that are chilling out. The girls want to get out of here and probably go walk around. I'm probably going to socialize. I got to text up some friends. So I got about 10 more minutes. The girls have been chilling in here for a while and they've been relaxing and being patient with me. I told him it was only going to take half an hour. Then I was having a lot of fun. Yeah. I feel like I'm a person that automatically solve problems, but it makes me look needy. And I feel like I'm a person that automatically solves problems, but it makes me look needy. And it's too late when I realize it afterwards. Hey, Brian, with you specifically, if you answer the question before the 10 minutes, I'll go down to the bottom and at the end of this call, because I don't understand what you're asking. So just ask the question again. At the very, like, once we reach the 8 p.m. mark, scroll down to the bottom and I'll read what you said. Have you ever been with a trans woman by accident? I've had women who will go on a Bumble date or something, or a Tinder date, or I run into them out and about. And like at first I don't notice it, but I'm very quick to pick it up now, just because it's my fucking job. I know it immediately usually. But I did get almost like, I did have this one girl took me on a date from a Bumble. She like picked me up and then she was like very aggressively trying to get with me. And then she was like bragging about how many guys she slept with. And I'm like, wait, girls don't brag about that. Girls also aren't this forceful and this like try hard about getting sex. I'm like, and I start looking at her. I'm like, then I look at her throat, then I look at her hands. I'm like, and I listen to her voice and I know she's trying to sound more feminine and it sounds kind of slightly fake. And I'm like, so I was really nice to her. I cut the date short and I made an excuse and I was really nice about it. I think you're mistaking him for the other guy. Oh, Michael Jordan, don't ever compare yourself to him. He's the GOAT. You're not even good at game, doing it for 11 years, says Denton Fisher. Okay, I wasn't saying that, but cool, man. Where does religion fit in this? Like, you're missing the point of what I was trying to get at, bro. Where does religion fit in this? Like, should I hide the fact that I'm Christian during pickup early in the relationship? Well, I mean, like, don't be too, all right, look. So if a girl does ever approach a guy, here, I'll put you in the shoes of a girl. This might actually help you out. All right, Michael, here, I'll put you in the shoes of a girl, and then this might help you out with this understanding of this. So he's saying, is it okay to bring up the fact that he's Christian before, when he's doing pickup early on in the relationship? If you're just like, a couple dates in, yeah, that's cool. But like, think about it like this. So if it's in a club is what you mean, like, when you're approaching girls, definitely, I don't know. All right. So when a girl approaches a guy, if she ever does, she might even be like, oh, he looks like the kind of guy that I'd be into. This guy fits the mold of guy that I've been into in the past. Now, when she approaches you, she's trying to feel you out. Is she trying to race the sex, or is she trying to race for a relationship? No, she's taking her time, trying to feel you out if you're actually a dope guy, if you're cool, if you believe in yourself, you're masculine, you're a leader, if you have the right energy, if you like would be somebody that is powerful as a man. So in the same way, when you bring up the Christian stuff too early in the relationship, you've already decided that you like her. You already decided that you want to date her. So you want to hold back on that a little bit. 2 dates in, I don't see that as being a big issue, but if it's like early on, like in the situation, don't do it. Alex Lindbergh versus Denton, who has better game? I don't know Alex Lindbergh. I don't know. I mean, again, subjective. I don't know, dude. I don't see. I hate that. Like, that used to be my old brand. I don't think it's good to like compare games against each other. That sounds almost like, it honestly sounds kind of like very autistic to put it that way. It's like there's. I mean, like, good game is subjective. Like, some people say I'm awesome, and some people say I'm not. Like, as clearly as the guy over here, he said apparently I'm not. That guy apparently doesn't think I'm great at game. There's another person here that thinks I'm fucking dope. It's all subjective. There's not really. I mean, very clearly, some guys are charismatic and better with girls than others. Like, that's obvious. But when you're dealing with guys who are all good with girls, I mean, it's all subjective. Like, some people wouldn't like the results I get. Some people probably like the results another one of my friends gets, or another dating coach. Maybe another guy would like maybe somebody else. I see. It's like, my style of game is made for me. Your style of game will be made for you. What do you want, and how are you going to develop it? Like, so for example, Todd. Actually, here, how do I put this in a way that you guys understand? Okay, so I'm going to talk about another coach's style of game, how it developed. So Julian, we've been talking about Julian a bit. Julian's game developed because he's an artist and he likes the playfulness. He likes molding interactions. He's almost like he has a lot of fun in conversations. He's not even gaming because he wants to pick up girls necessarily. He's gaming because he likes the artistic side of it. Me, I love people, and I like being powerful conversationally. I like being somebody that can control situations and protect my loved ones, or turn like a shitty vibe in a conversation to an amazing vibe, or turn a party into like a crazy rager, or making people laugh and making people feel good emotions. So for me, that's how my game developed. I made it to where like I'm never alone, and I'm around people that I like, high quality people, and that I'm also in the same way like a high quality man myself. I did it to improve the quality of my life and the quality of life around me, people around me. So that's how my game developed. So like again, game is subjective because game develops actually it develops in the direction of what you truly want out of this. If you truly want this out of it, it'll move in that direction. You might not even have enough self awareness in it to know what you truly want in something, and it will just kind of take that course, and it'll take you a while to even figure it out. It's all subjective. Is it important not to drink alcohol on nights out? Dude, I don't know. I take like a couple drinks on occasion. I don't drink all the time, but I mean, I don't really care. Like, I don't think it's that big a deal. As long if it becomes an issue, like if you're drinking like consistently and it becomes an issue, leave your card at home. Bring enough money to maybe to buy your way into the club, or maybe like bring enough out to buy one drink. But if alcohol's not as like an issue, like I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you're gaming as much as me, you can't be drinking every night out, or else it's massively fucking unhealthy. It's so bad for your body. Like, I mean, I game a lot. I go out way too fucking much. So for me, I can't be drinking every night I'm out. But I do find that without alcohol, you can get really fucking good. Like, I mean, to be fair, like you also, if you're using alcohol as a crutch, that's when it's an issue. You should not use alcohol as a crutch. You should learn how to game without alcohol. If you are like, and if you're somebody's drinking right now, you think you need alcohol to improve a game or to consistently get the results, take time, like maybe take a month or two and go game without alcohol. And you'll actually find that your game is just as good, if not better, without alcohol. Like once you get over the hurdle of like, you know, the initial approach and the feeling of need for alcohol, once you get over that hump, your game's going to be honestly just as good, if not better than it was with alcohol. It's fun to do every so often, go out with the boys, you know, let loose, but it's, you know, not something you really want to base your entire game around. There's some coaches though that drink a lot too. I've gone through like binges and stuff like that, so I get it. Is it too focused technical? He doesn't believe in state. Oh, he's talking about the other one. Okay, yeah, he's talking about the other coach. Anything? Oh yeah. Hey, friend, what's up, man? Hey, and friend, sorry, dude, that I've been like, dude, I'm so busy, bro. I appreciate all your messages, by the way, man. Dude, you're fucking killing it. You're kicking ass, bro. Yeah, and I appreciate you too, man. I want to get online coaching with you again. Yeah, fuck it, dude. Yeah, just let me know when. Dude, you've been wrecking shop, dude. All right. I'm sorry. I think I texted back on your message, I believe. Dude, I'm really proud of you, man. You've been kicking ass. All right, just keep it up. When doing social circle, if a girl seems to not like you, should you assume the positive or just cut it? When doing social circle, if a girl does not like you, yeah, I just don't chase somebody that's like that. I mean, just like let her loose, hang out with people you enjoy the energy of, like be selfish. Like a part of like, you know, social circle is being selfish with your energy, and to some extent, like obviously you look at everybody in your social circle as being, so when I'm in my social circle, I look at everybody as being in my tribe. So I'm like Moses parting the Red Sea to make sure that everybody has a good time. And this one stick in the mud, I just don't put the energy into that person. I just ignore them, honestly. Like if you have a friend who's a stick in the mud, I wouldn't be like friends with her. I just focus on people that I click with. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay. Like not everybody likes me. I mean, there's a lot of people that hate me. There's a lot of people that don't like me, and it just happens on occasion. I know that I'm a good person. I have good intent, and that's all I need. Some people think that I'm too nice, or I'm too bubbly, or I'm too outgoing, and it's like, it's whatever. You know, it's like not everybody's supposed to like you. No matter what you do, somebody's always going to hate you. I appreciate everything that you have done. Oh yeah, we already read that. When doing, have you taken boot camps yourself? So what was your favorite teacher? Why? Yeah, I've taken boot camps myself. Julian was a great mentor. Owen was fucking killer. Madison coached me up on how to coach. He's actually the first person that kind of start giving me advice on coaching. Madison RSD. He gave me some really key pieces of advice. That was killer. Yeah. I've taken boot camps. Yeah. My favorite teacher though, I couldn't give you one. I could tell you some that I didn't like. Mr. T. There's a guy who used to be, his name was Mr. T. This guy ended up being a complete scam artist, like was faking infield, which I was like, it's easier just to approach the girls. Like, why are you paying models? Why are you paying, like, it's easier just to approach girls and like maybe just approach a lot if you're like, you're bad at it. But I mean, like, yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. He ended up being a scam artist, which like my very first coach ever became a scam artist. And like that, like surprising that I continued doing this, which is why I try like with my clients, try to very much like not make them feel like, even when you guys get on coaching or get on like a call with me to ask about coaching, I always try to put out the energy that I'm being authentic and I care about you, because I don't want you getting that energy, that feeling that I had with my very first coach. So yeah, he's the only guy that I ever speak negatively of. His name was like Mr. T or something. It's such a long time ago. How do you qualify people you already know? I mean, you don't have to, I mean, if they're your friends, I don't qualify my friends. Qualify, Do you mean like I don't know what you mean. Okay, so here I'm gonna answer the. So all right, I'm gonna cut it off at she Manchu. Oh, sorry, Rashawn. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna drop it off. I'm gonna cut it off at she. I'm gonna answer all these, and then I'm gonna get out of here. I saw you message Brian, so I'll answer you too, man. Glad you're still sticking around. Um, oh, Ultimate Man Project. I don't really have anything with him. His old coaches fucked with me one time, and then we had kind of an issue. Uh, I don't know. We have different ideas around game, and I'm not gonna say his or mine are right. I don't know. Try him out. See what you think of his coaching. See if it works. Like put it into the field and try it out. Like a lot of you guys are asking like who's the better coach or who's the better this or that. Try their coaching, and then put it to the test. Go out and approach, and then find out. Like a lot of guys are like that could not possibly work. Like cold approach doesn't work or this or that, and it's like well try it out first and then tell me it doesn't work. You know, like quit telling me something doesn't work without trying it. You know, like the community used to be a lot about trial. Like before you could say something doesn't work, try it, and then you know. You know, that's like that used to be the old community, like back in the early 21st when it first started. The big thing about the community was try it first, and then you know, don't like masturbate to it. Like go out and do it. Like if somebody says something worked, go out and do it. Don't wait for like somebody to like, hey, this actually works. You know, like we've tested this, and you know, blah blah. No, just try it out. um, Oh, by the way, I'm not dissing on you, man, at all. I was just, you know, that's just me doing a rant on the community, like the current state of the community. Tips on escalating on the first date. Time spent, and also like moving from like place to place. Like don't just like when you're on a date with a girl, don't just like keep her to one place. Move her to like 3 different spots. Then move her to 3 different spots helps out a lot. And also take her on a date where you can get physical. Like I play pool a lot. I like playing pool with girls because it's something I can get physical in. I can teach a girl how to hit the ball or something like that. It's a great way to get physical. Like do something where like you guys are standing up and doing an activity. Maybe like I have a lot of clients right now who are into dancing classes, so they'll bring girls to like something like you know some kind of dancing class like salsa. That works really well. Take a girl to a salsa class. Um, let's see. I feel like when I'm texting for a meetup and kept asking for it or solving logistics, it makes me look needy. And if she's hesitant, should I drop it for now and just talk to other people? Yeah, well, it depends. So I'm doing it through Instagram. So if I were to like have that situation, I would definitely back off and then hit her up within a week. Give her space because if she's like that, you want to give her space and give her time because she might be talking to other guys or another guy that she's more into than you. Like give it time, give it space, give it a week or two, and then re-engage her. And she's gonna remember who you are. You don't have to keep on Instagram. You don't have to keep the girls warm because the Instagram itself keeps girls warm. Stories, pictures, stuff like that. That stuff alone will keep the girl warm. You don't need to be on it like that. If the girl's like that, like honestly, if a girl's being difficult about logistics, I just would stop messaging her and like just like I would read the message and then I would just not respond. Like I leave her on red and then maybe hit her up in a week. It usually will like it'll make her like now it'll make her engage more because she sees that she'll feel that loss where you were into her and now you just left her on red when you're trying to set it up and now she's like, oh wait, did I fuck up? And then in a week from now, she'll be more on it. Does that make sense? So don't punish bad behavior. So don't reward bad behavior by continuing to chase her. I get really annoyed when people drag things along. Well, yeah. Well, that's just girls like, dude, the girls you're talking to are talking to, if they're single, they're talking to like 10 other guys. So you're competing with those 10 to like 20 other guys in their Instagram or whatever. Just be patient. You should be doing the same thing. You should be like running a rotation of girls. So then like, you know, when you're like, when you got this girl, like when a girl doesn't text me back, I forget that I even texted her, for example. Like you should have so many girls in your DMs that if one girl forgets to text you back, you forgot about it. You forgot that you even texted her, asked her out on a date. Like that's how many girls should be getting on this thing. All right, so I'm gonna end it here with my boy right here. So this is gonna be the last question, and then we're gonna get out of here. As a PUA coach, how is your relationship with your parents? Most PUAs, I actually love my parents. My parents are amazing. Me and my parents we've had our issues before, but they're amazing people. My mom is honestly my mama's boy. My mom was a bad bitch, like honestly a bad bitch. We were really poor when I was a kid. And then she hustled her fucking ass off to make sure that we weren't anymore. My dad's like a little bitter. He's a good guy though. He's a good guy. He's very fucking smart. My dad's a fucking smart motherfucker. But yeah, I don't know. They both have their pros and cons, just like anybody else, like me. I mean, I imagine my kids won't love me 100%. Think that I'm like this godlike creature. You know, you never get that fucking, you know, that shit. Well, guys, honestly, this is a lot of fucking fun, guys. I'm honestly gonna do more of these in the future. I really have fun. And I know you guys really enjoy these AMAs, so I'm gonna continue doing this. I know you guys love this shit. So, and I'm also noticing, these Christ, we have a lot. We had a decent surgence of like people coming in and out of the video. So I thought that was pretty wild. So apparently this is a pretty good thing for the live videos. It seems like you guys really love this. Hey, yeah, thank you guys, man. I appreciate you. You guys are all dope, man. You guys are pretty sick. Honestly, like I can't ask for a better like audience. I've really cultivated you guys. So here's the thing: I made this channel for you guys to like to find you guys. I didn't make it the other way around. I didn't just ask for anybody to follow me. I was doing it to find a high quality audience. I didn't want to pander. I didn't want to say negative stuff. I didn't want to shit talk to get views. Instead, I wanted to do this in the right way because I knew that it would draw to me a high quality audience. Even if, oh, Aaron, we're gonna replay, and Aaron, we're gonna replay this. It's gonna be posted up on YouTube as well in my live section, so you can rewatch the entire thing if you want, man. Yeah, dude, you guys are, dude. Whenever you're in the coaching calls, you guys are not some like, you guys are not some dark creatures. You guys are always like these upbeat, positive people. You guys are always driven. Like, I'm really, really proud of all you guys. You guys are killing it, man. So I appreciate all of you. Yeah. Anyways, peace, guys.